Hi, everybody. 3 reasons today why you keep saying those 3 little words. I'm too tired. I'm too tired to do my job well. I'm too tired to look after myself. I'm too tired to take my days off. Really? 3 reasons, all to do with people. Thing number one is you're putting projects before people. You're thinking the value of my role in terms of other people's assessment of me is to be doing lots of projects. Let's set up lots of projects. Don't do that because that means you're missing the people those projects are meant to serve. Projects are the tools to do youth ministry. It's not the youth ministry itself. Project is the bridge, it's the mechanism, it's the faucet, it's the tap, it's the thing you travel through. This is getting weird metaphorically now, but the project is not the thing, the people are. And so a couple of things you can do about that. First off, don't fill your week with projects. If you've got space to do 3 projects, do 2 projects. So then you've got space to grow and space to react to things and needs that happen in the week. Something else you can do is proactively find time in your week to meet with people. So I have these little grey colour blocks in my calendar and they are meeting slots. I don't always fill them, but it reminds me that one of the key things I need to do in my week is meet with people. And knowing I've got blocks in my calendar to meet with people means I've always got time to give to people. And it means I can proactively think about the people I need to meet. Trustees, team, vicars, young people, schools, teachers, whatever. Meet with people, reverse the projects... Reverse the projects before people think. Reason number 2 is you're probably doing a little bit of people pleasing. Youth work can be just kind of relentless in how many opinions you get hit with constantly. I mean, you're probably in a space where there's probably other youth workers around you, volunteers. Volunteers have been doing youth work in voluntary roles before you've been alive, and you've got all of this sort of opinion coming at you constantly, and some of it can be really well given and graceful and merciful, and other people can be absolute jerks with how they speak to youth workers. Like, maybe they've just never learned how to translate what they're thinking into another person in a graceful way. But some people can be relentless, and often you've got to sort of, I wouldn't say let them get away with it, but you've got to just sort of take it because these might be your key volunteers, and you need them. And so at some point, you need to deal with your people-pleasing issue. And what I mean by that is not just changing everybody else, because you can't do that. I mean, I think it is important to learn to be clear and constructive in critiquing people who are constantly coming at you, but that's a whole other thing. But more than anything, you need to control how you feel. And so if you say, my primary aim is to please people, there's something wrong. Now, of course, you don't say that, but if you are really honest with yourself and you've looked at the things that motivate and move you in your life, if you are super honest, people pleasing is probably quite high up on that list. And so think about, okay, which people am I going to give value to in terms of their critique of me? It's a bit of a weird way to put it, but what I'm saying here is actually some people earn the right to be critical of you. Not everybody does. And so, for instance, when I preach a sermon, I preach in lots of churches. It sort of comes with my role. And I get lots of feedback from lots of different people. And if I take all the critique and feedback I get from everybody, I'd be stuck completely. I had a session a few weeks ago where someone emailed me at the end of the talk saying, Tim, you spoke way too quickly, and I do tend to do that, way too quickly, and the deaf people in the room couldn't hear you. At that same Sunday, I had 3 strongly deaf people with hearing aids, come to me and say, I heard every word today, thank you. Now, they both can't be right. And if I just listened to every piece of feedback, I'd be like, well, you're all giving me different opinions here. What do I do? I've had people come to me who have obviously never, ever stood in a pulpit, but they think they know much better than anyone who does how to do it well. And sometimes you just go, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And you honestly, this sounds horrible, but you store it in the bin in the computer, desktop of your mind. You go, thanks so much. Other people have spent time learning about you, relating to you. They care about what you care about. They understand your strengths and weaknesses, and they give into your life in helpful, constructive ways. Those are the people to listen to. And if you don't have any of those people in your life, it might be that you've been a little bit defensive and you need to start letting some of those people in. But the trick to not people pleasing is finding which people to please. And that might just mean finding people who you will receive constructive criticism from and just believing in your heart of hearts, God God has called me to this ministry and I need to lead it in the way that I feel like he's called me to do. Have lots of dialogue. Make sure you've got times to do, debriefs and things with your team, but be confident in what it is you feel you're called to do. And it feels like in a short video, that's as much as I can say about this, but I will do a whole thing another time on people pleasing. Oh, I just burped down the microphone. That was really awkward. I am like the arch people pleaser, and I feel like I've got experience from mistakes that I can share. And the third reason that you're probably saying I'm always tired is because you're putting people before yourself. And you go, yeah, but Tim, that's what we're meant to do. We're Christians, self-sacrificial, sacrificing, servant-hearted love. That's what Jesus did. It's true, but that's not quite the whole story. I mean, Jesus also spends plenty of time removing himself from crowds. He spends plenty of time eating and sleeping and doing normal things. There are times when he's on, times he's off. And there's also, again, he kind of picks who he spends time with. And I think the same thing should be true for us, that we do need to take care of ourselves. That does mean eating properly, sleeping properly, having a decent exercise routine, taking your time off. You are not going to get any less busy by working your time off. Physics just doesn't work out that way. If you work all your time off, I swear, I promise you, your busyness will not go away. It's the worst lie. If I work my day off, I'll be less busy in the week. Nonsense. Don't work your days off. Don't work your holidays. Shut that laptop. Turn the phone off. Don't let people speak to you. Protect your time off. Anyway, you need to look after yourself. You need to look after your relationship with God, your relationship with people who you care about in your life, your family, your friends. You need to make sure that you are growing in your identity as a whole person. Otherwise, you'll find that everyone will just fill the calendar for you in a mixture of people pleasing, putting others before yourself unhelpfully, constantly, and then putting projects before people. You will find that you are constantly busy. So don't do those things. Don't.